Whew. New Zelda game. Let's take a look, shall we, Draco?
Yeah, let's take a look.
Alright.
Open your eyes.
It's kind of weird how it's opening with voice acting. What are
Not
these?
something Zelda's ever been really known for.
Not superiorly, no. I mean... Except for, hello!
Listen!
So the world looks a bit gritty. I like it. You gotta remember this isn't the final polish yet, either.
This was the trailer they showed at E3.
Yep.
Open your eyes.
Yeah, this is the E3 trailer for Zelda Breath of the Wild. Also known as Zelda NX or Zelda Wii U. I mean, I'm overly excited for this game. There's a lot of really interesting things about it, I think. I like that you can climb mountains now.
Free base climbing up a tree, up a mountain.
Yep, you can. If you can see it, and it's got texture, you can probably climb it. Cooking, crafting. These are all things we're getting from the trailer. You can kill things and kill enemies with stuff in the wild. As always, since it's Zelda, its music's just gorgeous.
Music is fairly good.
Yeah, man. The graphic style kind of reminds me of Twilight Princess or Skyward Sword.
Okay.
I do love how they're like, look at the logo, man. Since we're at the end of the video, I mean, the Master Sword's got rust and chips, and looks really old and dirty. This leads me to believe that it's gonna be like a very, very far along Zelda game, like way down the timeline, I guess. The last Zelda game we got was the very first in the timeline kind of thing. And well, not really, the last big console Zelda game. Not counting the last two handhelds, which we already know that A Link Between Worlds is supposedly a direct sequel to A Link to the Past.
Is it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why it's in the same world. It's got the same light and dark aspects. It's also why you get teased with the A Link to the Past music when you're playing it, if you're not aware.
Okay. And this game is Nintendo, obviously.
Correct, Nintendo. Only Nintendo.
Has Zelda released on any other system besides Nintendo ever?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there were the ones that came out for the Panasonic CDI back in the 90s.
Yeah, but we don't talk about
the
Panasonic CDI.
Yeah, and we don't talk about those Zeldas because they were awful. Like, truly, truly awful. I played all three of them. I beat all three of them.
No challenge, no gameplay.
I mean, they're hard. They're fucking hard as anything because basically, like, if you think about it, They have awful controls because CDI. They have, when your game, like the gameplay to get to the final boss is harder than the final boss. You have a problem. You follow me?
No, I feel you. I completely agree with you.
So let's get off the topic of those craptacular CDI games and go back to the ones made by Nintendo. Because I've never played one for Nintendo that I didn't, enjoy a little.
All right, Bones. So now that we've gone to this trailer, let's take a look at the past, shall we?
Sure.
Why don't you tell me this game's done in 3D?
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you tell me about your favorite
3D Zelda?
3D Zelda so far?
So my favorite 3D Zelda is a little bit different than most people's. I like Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask. Ooh, that's a strong choice.
Majora's Mask. Yeah, I know I'm gonna get flamed, but Majora's Mask to me is I like it because it's a darker, grittier Zelda. It's a little bit sketch. I like the mechanic of going back in time, and going back in time, going forward, going back, playing through it. I really enjoyed that Zelda. Thought it was very cool. I thought it was cool that you could get masks to transform, and it's one of those things that I grew up playing, like Super Nintendo Zeldas and things like that. And my favorite 3D Zelda had to be a little weird by comparison. It didn't follow the exact like Zelda layout, you know what I'm saying? Get the 3 things to go to the big temples to get the 5 things.
I feel you.
And I like that it had time travel, go back to back in time to the same 3 days is the only thing I didn't care for. But I love how dark and gritty the story was, and it's just a weird kind of nostalgia for me, I guess.
So what you're saying is you really liked going in circles.
I did. I very much loved going in circles. Most people's favorite would probably be Ocarina of Time. Because, that's a great freaking game. I own it multiple platforms. One day hope to get a sealed box Ocarina of Time. But I don't know, man. Things I don't particularly, I'm not super excited for about the new Zelda, by the way, from the looks of the trailers and the gameplay that I watched from E3. Going back to the new Zelda, I know I'm hopping over the place, but
No, it's fine.
the new Zelda, I hate that they brought back the stamina bar, kind of, but at the same time, I feel like you need it for the way this game's going to play.
The stamina bar was part of Majora's Mask, wasn't it?
No, stamina bar came from Skyward Sword. This is the first time we saw that.
Oh, okay.
But I have a love-hate relationship with that. It's kind of neat that it exists, and it's kind of neat that it's in a Zelda game now, but at the same time, I feel like it's going to be a bit of a hindrance. Well, I'll have to play the game to find out. Plain and simple.
I agree.
But when it comes to the way the world looks huge in the new Zelda. It looks massive, and it looks like you can explore everywhere, which takes me back to the very first Zelda. How you could basically explore the map and, figure out stuff based on, just try to figure it out. no Nintendo power now, but we have the power of the internet. So, um, and I'm sure they'll put out a strategy guide for it, which I won't use.
I will. Won't even lie, I will. I am a big strategy guide junkie. I'll play through the game the first time
That's
the
how
correct way and stumble through everything. And then I'll get the strategy guide and go for my completionist thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna try to complete it without anything because I'm a very, very big Zelda fan. I've played through every single game. I've 100%ed every single Zelda game, except for Zelda 2, because I don't have a working copy of it as an adult, and I didn't beat it as a child.
Alright, well we're going to stop you there for just a minute. Alrighty, Bones. So, you've covered Majora's Mask. We're excited about the new game. Here's the question. Zelda has had an extremely large history. An illustrious amount of games. Now, if we look back, they've went from 2D to 3D to cartoon.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think of Wind Waker, and I mean...
Well, Wind Waker, Spirit Tracks, Phantom Hourglass.
If you had to pick a game out of all the Zelda games, and I'm talking back like regular Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Game Boy before there was color, back when it was in green, okay?
And black.
Yeah, green and black. Let's go back that far. What game would you say, in your opinion, affected games of today?
Oh man, I would say A Link to the Past is my favorite and probably the most influential Zelda game that like came out later. Super Nintendo. It was released on originally, or Super Famicom in Japan. Yeah. All right. So the music in that game, the visuals, the bright colors, the story, the gameplay, the map. I love that Zelda. It set the tone, in my opinion, for what a Zelda game needed to be like in the future. You know, it has to have great visuals. It has to be fun. Think about A Link to the Past when it first came out, man. Like when the Super Nintendo first came out. I don't know about you, but that game blew my freaking mind with how in depth it was and how much that game had to offer for a Super Nintendo title. You know, the music was fantastic. The gameplay was pretty solid. Controls were really, really good. You walk upstairs, you walk downstairs. It gives you, even though you're in 2 dimensions, it gave you a feeling that you could, you know, those 2 dimensions had depth to them, kind of thing. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I would agree with you. That makes sense to me.
And it holds up really well, actually. If you play A Link to the Past now, like you went out and you picked up your Super Nintendo and plugged it into your TV, if you could get it to work on your TV properly, and you played it, it holds up very well in comparison to like a lot of the games that are coming out now. But that also gave you the basic setup for what, you know, Zelda would be like in the future. You know, get the 3 pendants, or get the 3 jewels, or whatever. Get the 3 jewels, get the 3 pendants, get the Master Sword, get the 5, go to the 5 temples, fight Ganon. Basically, that's how it went on, you know? The original person you're fighting was Aghanim, who later you find out is Ganon. Spoilers! But,
Spoilers!
I don't know, man. I think Zelda is a beautiful game. It's got great stories. It's just all around a good time for me. I love it. What's your take? I mean, how do you feel? Do you like? What's your favorite Zelda?
I did thoroughly enjoy A Link to the Past, but most of the Zelda games I played, when I played them, I played them personally. A lot of the games I played were for Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, stuff like that. I want to say it was Zelda and the Four Seasons?
Oracle of Seasons?
Oracle of Seasons, that's the one.
Yeah, Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages for the Game Boy.
Yep, both of the games linked together real well. I really enjoyed both of them.
They were both very, very good. I consider both of those games as one game, kind of. But you play... It's almost the exact same story across both. Just one's in Seasons and one's in Time. So if you want to get technical, they're both Time. But whatever.
Sure.
I thought they were great, too. The music in those games is really good. For a Game Boy game.
Well,
I think they're Game Boy Color.
Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
Both of which, by themselves, I mean, Zelda in general by itself relied on music more than dialogue, really. Okay, that is one of the Zelda traits that I've always admired, because there's always been so much of it in comparison to, let's face it, dialogue. They're not exactly known for their voice acting.
Yeah, very true. Very true. And it's kind of weird that the new game opens up with, you know, a voice saying, "Wake up!" It is just one of those things that... I'll be excited to see why the hell where you start at in the new game, or why you start, or whatever. That'll be interesting, I think. I do think there are a couple really cool Zelda games that aren't actually Zelda games. Like Hyrule Warriors. It's pretty cool.
Hyrule Warriors. I've seen some footage of that game. I haven't played it myself.
Oh, dude, you do not know what you're missing. You've played Dynasty Warriors, right?
Love Dynasty Warriors. Big fan.
Same company made this game.
Every game that the company that did Dynasty Warriors has come out with, their name escapes me off the top of my head.
I think it's Ninja or Studio Ninja or something like that.
Yeah. Either way.
I don't know.
I've enjoyed all of them, all the way up to the Dynasty Gundam that came out. I enjoyed every Dynasty game that's ever existed. It's just something I've thoroughly enjoyed.
I'm surprised you've never played Hyrule Warriors then. Same company. Just done with Zelda characters. It's freaking incredible, dude. It's one of those games you should try.
Alrighty, guys, this has been Geek Tech going over the E3 2016 release trailer for
Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Zelda Breath of the Wild, there you go. We're highly anticipating this game. We're waiting for its release.
I'm like on pins and needles over here, man.
Yeah, I'm quite excited about it myself. I'm looking forward to a good Zelda game to play.
I am too. I'm looking forward to a nice open world to play around in.
Yeah. All the benefits of this new game. Alright, guys, so if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button. Helps us and the channel out. If you liked what you saw, feel free to subscribe. We're going to do more of it. We're going to do a lot of different trailers from E3 and everything like that. Bit of our take on the footage.
Yeah, man.
If you would like to see us play some of the old Zelda games, leave us a comment in the description. Also, we're looking for some information from you guys. Help get you guys involved in this. We want to hear what your favorite Zelda game was.
Oh, yeah, man.
Leave us a comment. Give us a story. Tell us why it's memorable. Let us know. Probably going to pick a couple people from the description, give them a shout out on the channel, and throw them a t-shirt.
Yeah, man.
Alright, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.